We are completely virtual here in Savannah, Georgia, and so this is currently my classroom. It's very fancy. You really can't see like any of it on Zoom, and I realized that it's backwards today when I put these like numbers up because I pinned the grade levels to the standards, and then I was like, they're backwards, you can't even tell, but you know, it's all good, it's all good. So we're going to talk about the lessons I'm doing with 4th and 5th grade. So every week at 5:30 on Tuesdays for now, that might have to change to Wednesdays later, we're going to be talking about like what I'm teaching. Now I have a super funky schedule, and instead of like normal schools where, you know, you have like my Monday classes and my Tuesday classes, you can not be reversed on Zoom. Oh, changed my life. I'm gonna have to play with that. Hybrid for Anna and all virtual. Okay. Ugh, on a cart. Gross. I know, we'll be there if we ever go back to school. So I have a really funky schedule, and in that, instead of like having a Monday class or a Tuesday class or a rotation, I have all of the same classes for a week. So like this week in 1st grade, I have this class and I see them every day this week. And then next week, I have the next 1st grade class. So I have like Monday, Tuesday, actually no, Wednesday right now. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday classes. So I'm gonna go through the 4 lessons that I'm doing with my 4th and 5th graders. I am doing the same pretty much lesson with them this week because it was the first week, and I was like, we just need life to be a little easier. Now, one thing I have found with Zoom that has been really helpful is that it's really easy. Oh, maybe it's not really easy. It's really easy to mirror my iPad onto the screen, which means that I have been able to have like a Google Slides presentation going on the screen for the kids to see, and I can use the computer to see their faces, which is wonderful because I can actually see what they're doing and I can read the chat and all of that stuff while I have everything going on my iPad. It's gonna be a little wonky today, but I'm gonna try my very best to show you. So I've been starting every class with a just little slide that says what the I can statements are. It has what you're gonna need. So like one day they need paper, and so I have that in that section, and what time class starts in case they're early, and then a little video, because on Zoom I have been having to like admit every single student, and so they all come, you know, like right in that first couple of minutes. So I play a video while I am admitting all of the students. And that's been fun because it kind of hypes them up, gets them ready, and kind of gives them almost like a countdown to when we're gonna start. Now on day 1, the way that we start is we do a little movement activity. This is my absolute favorite thing ever. So this is in my TPT shop. It's just like little stick figures. I originally like drew them on paper and then I did them on the computer, which looks a little better. And so all they have to do is match the stick figure. So I just hold it up to the camera and they match this one, and then we switch to the next one, and then we switch to the next one, and we keep going. So usually I will go through slowly at first, and then I put on a song. So I've been using just a backing track from Little Kids Rock's website, littlekidsrock.org, to just make it a little bit more interesting. And I just turn them every 4, and then I switch to 2, which is really fast, and then back to 4. So that's like a really fun, easy way to get kids moving at the very beginning. They think it is super fun. Even your like kids who are like a little over everything enjoy that, and it's super easy, low stakes, easy and fun. So I do that with 4th and 5th grade. And then what we're doing is, of course, going over the rules. So we have 4 rules in music class, and we clap them, so I have rhythms associated with each one. And so those are follow directions, and then be respectful, be responsible, and be a participant. Those are our 4 rules. They're the same thing that we had in school. They're the same thing that these 5th graders have had for like years and years and years. And oh my gosh, it's like life-changing. I love the stick figures. They're so much fun. So we go through that, and then I found this free Zoom, let's see if you can see that, this free Zoom poster on Teachers Pay Teachers, and it's just like the classroom expectations for being live. So those say be on time, be respectful, keep your sound on mute, which is going to be the bane of my existence, is kids unmuting themselves. It says turn your video off if there's something going on. So I always tell them, like, if your brother or sister is like hopping around in the background, feel free to turn your video off so that we don't get that. Or if you know, need to move to a different spot, please do not take me for a roller coaster ride and like move the camera all around, because it will make you sick. Stay in one place if you can. And then this says don't take pictures or video of the meeting. I haven't really had any issues with that, so I'm not too worried about it, but that has been helpful. And then we do a quick little stand up, sit down activity. So I just made this really quickly on PowerPoint. Actually, it's not PowerPoint. I use Keynote because I haven't bought PowerPoint on my new computer and I haven't decided if I'm going to. So I just made like a quick little Keynote and then add it to my Google slide. And it's, you really can't see that. It just says stand up if, and then sit down if, and I go through and we say, okay, stand up if you have a brother and sit down if you don't. And then stand up if you have a sister, sit down if you don't. So the first one are just a little bit about the kids, like if they have pets, if they play sports. I ask if they like to sing, because then we get into more music. I ask what kind of music they like. So we ask about if they like Beyonce, if they like rap music, hip hop music. My personal favorite is, do you like lots of different kinds of music or do you just do one? So that's been really helpful. And then I also ask if they like playing instruments and if they have any instruments at home, which has been great because I've had some kids who are like, oh yeah, I have my mom's guitar, and different things like that that I didn't know before. So that's a really fun way to get them up and get them moving, along with learning more about the kids. And for those who, I have a couple kids who have been coming in the car. I think they're like sitting in the school parking lot to use the Wi-Fi. And so things like that, or if they just are being fifth graders and they just don't want to do anything, I tell them you can do thumbs up and thumbs down, and that also works. But I like to stand up and sit down so that they're moving and getting those wiggles out. We're trying to do all of the movement is my goal for this year. And the kids are in mute. I've been using raise the roof. That's funny. So then what I've been doing is just very simply, I have that exact same thing that I just showed you in a Google form. So I just like exported it as pictures, added it to a Google form, and then I have them turn that into me. So I give them about 10 minutes to work on that. And so then I can actually look and see what their answers are. And I also added things like, what's your favorite song? What are your favorite artists? And a couple little things like that so that I can learn more about them. We have about 10 minutes. My classes are only 30 minutes long, which they're normally 45. I didn't think that 15 made a difference. It does. So then on day 2, they come in and we start, today was day 2, today was Tuesday. So that was Monday. Tuesday, we start with the song Scotland's Burning. I don't know if you know that song. I don't know if that's a common one, but I love it. So it's really, really simple. It goes, Scotland's burning, look out, fire, 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 pour on water, pour on water. And we do little actions that I learned at like a children's choir camp, I want to say. And so our actions for them are just Scotland's burning, look out, fire, 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 pour on water, pour on water. It's really easy. I like songs with actions at the beginning because kids, oh, you were singing that in the shower today? That's hilarious. I love songs with actions because, especially for those like reluctant singers, it's easy to teach them the actions first. So I'll say like, okay, here are the words, and then, all right, here are the actions, and then I have them sing. And they're muted, so I can't like actually hear them, but I can see them, so I can usually tell if they're actually singing or not. The only rhythms in that are eighth notes and quarter notes, so then I point that out, see if anyone happens to remember eighth notes or quarter notes, since I basically haven't seen them since March. So I had them at the end of the year, but we were doing live lessons and like no one was showing up, and it was just like train wreck. So then I show them a map and show them where Scotland is, so they have a little more context. A couple of pictures of Scotland. I just like to throw those in so that kids get in their brain kind of what's going on. And then we do a rhythm review. So we're actually doing this activity from Artie Almeida called Note Man, which is amazing if you've never used it. It's a free thing on her website. I am going to, when this video is finished, I'm going to post the replay on YouTube and all of the links will be there. So by tomorrow you should be able to go there and find everything that I'm talking about. So Noteman is this little song that you sing to the tune of Bingo, and you draw the little Noteman. So I have everyone go and get a piece of paper. I've been using my whiteboard to do it along with them. And you sing it to the tune of Bingo. So I'll just sing you like the first part. So it goes, there was a man made from notes, and Noteman was his name. O-N-O-T-E man, N-O-T-E man, N-O-T-E man, and Noteman was his name. So with especially the older kids, I introduce this as, I'm like, just give me a thumbs up if you ever heard this song, maybe when you were little, and I start singing Bingo, and they're all like, oh yeah, I know that. I'm like, okay, we're gonna use that to remember some rhythm. So I know it's kind of a kid song, but we're just gonna remember. And so we do that, and I have them play the rhythm of the words while I sing it. And then it goes through each of the different rhythms. So the first one is whole note. So what we do is we take our hands and we make whole notes. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we sing through. Yeah, it's great. So we sing through and do it that as we go. So like, there was a man made of notes, and no man was his name. Oh, whole note, last 4 beats, ta. Whole note, last 4 beats, and it creates his body. And then on their paper, they draw the whole note to create his body. And so it keeps going, and you get the half note as his head and the quarter notes as his hands and arms, the eighth notes as his legs and feet. And this again is free on Artie Omita's website. The rest becomes his ribs, which I just think is hilarious. And that's where she stops, and I add at the end, I got this from my mentor teacher, can't take credit. At the end, we do 16th notes, and we draw them on the bottom as his roller skates. So that's really fun and really easy. I'm still working out. I want them to like take a picture and send it to me, but we haven't really figured out, we're not using Google Classroom, we're using something called It's Learning. Hit me up if you're using It's Learning, because it is just a whole thing in and of itself. So I haven't quite figured out how they can actually do that. But we're trying. So I did have them like hold it up to the screen so I could see what they looked like. And they actually really enjoyed that, even the 5th graders. And then I found this rhythm video that goes along with Uptown Funk, and it's mostly quarter and eighth notes and rest, quarter rest. And it's like color coded, so that's really fun. So we've been doing that at the end of class, and we have been stomping the quarter notes and snapping the eighth notes, and when we get to the 16th, we do taki tiki on our legs or our tables or just whatever we have, because we're all there. On Wednesdays, we are not doing live lessons. So Wednesdays we're doing e-learning days. So the kids are supposed to work on their assignments. The buildings are closed for cleaning, which I'm teaching from home anyways, that doesn't really affect me. And the teachers are doing more of like planning and grading and trainings and stuff like that. So on Thursdays when we come back, and on Thursday, full disclosure, I haven't done these lessons with them, at least not this year online, but we're gonna try. So on Thursday, we are starting with a Star Wars movement activity. So we're taking the first section of the theme from Star Wars and having them come up with different actions. So they only need 3. We're using 1 for the beginning and the end, 1 for the A section, and 1 for the B section. In the first like minute or so, the form is intro, A, B, A, B, A, and then end. And so we just come up with those 3 actions, write them down on the like little whiteboard thing on my iPad, and then listen to the song, and we do those actions as we go. So whatever they pick is what we'll do. And then this is where I kind of break it up. So I've been trying to incorporate more of the students, what they're learning in their classrooms. And so 4th grade is learning about the planets in science, and 5th grade is learning about the turn of the century in history. So at this point with 4th grade, we are reading this book, Earth, My First 4.54 Billion Years. And it's just a really cute little book about the Earth, but it has a lot of facts about the earth, and it's just fun and it's cute. With the 5th graders, since they're working on turn of the century, and Gustav Holst was right around the turn of the century, we are talking more about him. So we're talking about what all happened at the turn of the century, and then I found a lesson online, which I will link to in the replay on the YouTube video, that goes along with Gustav Holst's The Planets. So it has like little snippets of it, and I'm trying a Nearpod on Google Slides, so I will let you know how that goes. So my plan is that we will listen to the little snippets of the planets, and I'll tell them, okay, this is Mars, and then on the Nearpod, which is like a Google Slides app, I put in the names of the planets and then the words to describe the song. So it's like Mars, and I think it's like warlike. And so they are supposed to match the two. So I'll tell them, okay, this is Mars. We listen to it, match it with whichever description they think it is. Another way you could do that is just have them like write down what description they think it is, what it sounds like, things like that. And then we're gonna go through and talk about the different planets, because again, 4th grade is learning about the planets. So really quickly, I just have like a slide for each planet that just has like 1 or 2 little facts about them that they are gonna go over. And then at the end, they're doing a planet's composition activity, which is what I'm super excited about. So in the lesson that I found, it had an ostinato that you can play along with Mars. So we're gonna learn that, and then we're going to create our own. Let me see if I can pull that up really quickly. So for this one, what they're doing is they're coming up with just a simple little ostinato. So I'm sending them this Google Slides activity via It's Learning, our Google Slide equivalent. And so what they're gonna do, it has a couple things to remind them of. So it has like, here's all the planets, and then their names. It has like the rhythms and how much the rhythm values are. I'm trying to like find the least amount of glare. And then they are writing a phrase. So whatever, I put like a couple of examples. So like one example I had was Saturn has rings. So they write the phrase and then they figure out the rhythms to go along with them. And I added the rhythms in as pictures so they can like drag and drop them, so they don't have to worry about like finding them. Ugh, I'll see if I can put that on the YouTube channel in the replay. So if you really want to look, we can do that. So they type the words and then they drag and drop the rhythms to the words over top. So again, 2 examples I had in there, one was Saturn has rings, which would be ti-ti-ta-ta, or ti-ti-ta, rest. And then the other one I put in there was Neptune's very cold, which would be ti-ti-ti-ti-ta, or again, ti-ti-ti-ti-ta, rest. So they're gonna do 3 of those and turn those in. And that is how we're going to do that. I'm a little bit worried about, actually I'm a lot worried about running out of time for that. So if we don't finish, I'm gonna move some of that over onto Friday. So on Friday, we're gonna start with warming up with Scotland's Burning. Since we've already sung it, it'll be nice and easy just to remember it. And then we're going to go over the song Counting Stars. So I use a website called Little Kids Rock. It's a whole program. My district's been like training us in it, and it's a modern band based music education, which is so much fun. So they have like video lessons your kids can watch. They have lesson plans for teachers. They have like a million things. I have a ginormous book, actually. All of this that I got at a training, that it's called Music as a Second Language and Modern Band Movement. But like pretty much all of this is available for free online. Yeah, so what they have online is they'll have all sorts of different, so I happen to open to the guitar side. So it has like chords and methods, and it has ways that students can improvise. And then they also have a keyboard, drums, bass, and online, oh, and a lot of technology stuff, which is cool. And oh, I just found this page. Look at that. A whole bunch of apps that you can use. All right, we're gonna look at that later. So all of that's available online, and they also have things that can work with the kids. So one of the things I like, they do like lyric writing videos where they teach the kids how to write like hip hop lyrics and different things. And then what we're gonna use is using your body as a drum set. So we are going to do this with the song Counting Stars. So I got this picture off their website. I'll fix it and put it onto the YouTube video that you can check out by tomorrow. It'll go up tonight, but I don't know at what time. So at least by tomorrow. And so it has the like pictures of the drums. So it has the beats, and then it has like pictures of the bass drum on 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then pictures of the snare drum on 2 and 4. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start by just stomping that steady beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't see it, but I swear I'm stomping. It's all good. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll try the snare part, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if they are coordinated enough, then we will put that together so it would be like stomp, snare, back and forth like that. So that's the pattern of the drums. Like if you were actually playing drums for the song Counting Stars from OneRepublic, that's what it would be. And then there's also the chorus. I don't know if we're gonna get to the chorus because it adds in the hi-hat, and that's a lot of moving going on, but we might try it. So we're gonna learn that and do that along with the song Counting Stars from OneRepublic as a nice little warm-up. And then depending on whether they finish the planets activity from yesterday, if they didn't, we're gonna finish that. But my master plan is to try out the website called Soundtrap, which is kind of like GarageBand but on the internet. And so you can do things like adding in drums. And so my master goal, if all goes well, is to have them record the ostinato they came up with yesterday and then add maybe some loops or some tracks and different things like that to just make it really cool. And really the point just being to play around and try it out. So I haven't tried that with them yet, but I'll let you know next week at 5:30 on Tuesday how it goes. And then for our very last thing, we're playing a rhythm game. And this is an adaptation of a game I found that was like a distance learning game. So, not distance learning, socially distanced game. So in the game, it's called Asteroid. What you're supposed to do is everyone has like their home. So we did it at church with like pieces of paper, and every kid got a piece of paper and they put it somewhere in the classroom. And then we would call out numbers, and they would take that many steps away from the paper in any direction, as long as they weren't like circling the paper. So like if I said 5, they'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if I said 3, they can go in any direction from there. So they might go 1, 2, 3 and end up over here. When we say asteroid, they have to go back to their home base. So you could do it with paper, you can do it with hula hoops. We're going to do it with rhythms. So what we're gonna do is, as my distance learning variation, I'm going to put a rhythm on the screen and I will say it, and they're going to go that many steps away. So like if it's ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, then they're going to go ta, ta, ti, ti, ta. And then we might do, you know, ta, ta, ta. And so they might go ta, ta, ta. When I say asteroid, they have to run back to their computer, and the first person to put something in the chat and press enter gets a point. Now in the real game, it was like the last person to get back to their spot was out, but I just feel like that's gonna be really hard to figure out distance learning. So we're just gonna do the first person to get back to their computer and put anything in the chat, I don't care what it is, gets a point, and whoever has the most points at the end wins. The caveat being that they have to have their camera on so I can see that they're not just like sitting at their computer, because that would definitely be not cool. So that is everything that 4th and 5th grade is doing this week. If everything goes according to plan, we shall